Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back for some Mob Psycho 100 episode 12 today, which I believe is the season finale of season 1. Season 1 has flown by, man. Gotta say, Mob Psycho has been one of my favorite shows. I think it's honestly my favorite to react to in general, just because there's a lot to talk about with the characters and kind of the emotions of the show, the animation style. I mean, it's a very unique show, and it's been really fun for me to react to in general. Just got back from a vacation in a week in Florida. I'm sure y'all saw I did some of the videos down there, but I did miss Mob last week, so we will be getting back on track this week. Got a little bit of a tan in Florida. I usually am one of those people who stand under the umbrella, though. I hate being out in the sun too long, but it was nice to get out there. Played a lot of mini golf. The timeshare my family usually goes to has like a really nice putt-putt course. That's, you know how like mini golf, a lot of them are kind of all extravagant and, there's a lot of kind of gimmicky stuff. This one is more, I guess, skill-based, and we've been going to this place for years. So every year we always, my family competes with each other a lot. I probably played 15 rounds of mini golf or something. But it was a lot of fun. Went to Disney as well. Got some good time with the family in. But with that being said, I'm very excited to get back in my recording element. It's definitely a little hard to record when you're traveling, and editing on a laptop's not as fun. I have a big PC setup and everything, so it's much more enjoyable to edit at home. So I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to be here with y'all to watch the Mob Psycho 100. Let's go ahead and recap the points from last time. We gave MVP to Reigen for infiltrating, pretending to be the boss. I mean, Reigen being Reigen, the best con artist ever. Super interesting how his character has been panned out with more of the backstory for him too. Best moment we gave to Ritsu and Mob, kind of combined the moment they hugged, and just love that moment so much. Made me a little emotional. It was great. And then the funniest moment was when Reigen drop kicked the shit out of the one of the scars, or it was the leader, I think, actually. More of his special moves come into play. Always good to see Reigen's special moves. If y'all want to see more detail around why we chose those character ratings, or more, analysis of the episodes in general, check out the review section of the last video, or stick around to the end of this one if you want to see this one's, a little bit more in depth of my thoughts and feelings on the episode. I think with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the season finale.
やめとけモブ。嫌な時はな、逃げたっていいんだよ。
Dude, Mom's gonna lose it, bro.
こんなことになるなんて。レーゲンさんが嫌な予感がする。兄さんに莫大なストレスがかかる。変化が起きてしまう。
Oh my god, the red eyes, dude. I'd be scared if I was the scars, and honestly, probably people around Mob.
本当は誰も傷つけたくないんだ。でもやらなきゃやられちゃうじゃないか。そう思ったから、みんなを守るためには僕がやらなきゃいけないんだ。なのに逃げてもいいって師匠は僕に言った。だから。
Really? Reigen's fine?
バカな。びっくりさせんなよ。マジで切られたと思ったじゃねえか。
なぜ立っていられる？レーゲンさん。
その刀、やっぱり偽物だったんだな。だとすると、さっき床を切ったのはどんなさ。
Ooh, interesting.
ならば、次は首を落としてやろう。いて。な。 チャンバラ遊びに付き合えるほど社会人は暇じゃねえんだよ。
What?
さすがに影山くんの写真
I'm so confused, bro. Is it actually plastic, or is Reigen not doing something?
悪霊か。あれ、やけに軽いな。ぬいぐるみ？
Does Reigen actually have powers? Or is Mob using it in the background?
ああ、すな。着ぐるみを破くつもりは。レーゲンさんって本物？
What the hell's going on, dude? I have no idea what to think of Reigen.
最新の立体映像ってやつか。
何がした？
全て無力化だと。化け物かこの男は。
なんてことだ。まだこんな実力者が世の中には存在するのか。
Still exists?
消さなければ世界征服の邪魔立てをされては困る。
出してみろよ、さっきの黒い玉。
なんて数だ。大丈夫なのか。
大人に任しとけ。
Mob definitely has to be doing something in the background, bro.
やっぱり師匠はすごいな。
逃げてもいい。その言葉を聞いた瞬間、モブの中でいびつに膨らみ爆発したエネルギーは行き先を変えていた。人の言葉が与える影響は時折、力を持つ者は戦わなければならない。その責任がモブの橋を崩していた。しかし誰かがそっと手を伸ばすだけで心の解決につながることがある。結果、一時的にモブの持つ全
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Very interesting.
逃げおせたのである。晴れやかな気分で。心にあるのはただ一つ。死への感謝。
Aww. Yeah, gratitude feels great, dude.
シャボン玉か？
誰も全てを飲み込み消滅させてしまう黒玉を。
Man, Reigen's gonna get so cocky from this.
なんでさっきまで逃げていた男に何が起きた。私も体を張るしかないね。500キロタックル。一本パンチ。
Ooh. Damn, dude. Holy shit. This is crazy.
ギアチン。
God, I love the animation for the fights. So cool.
君がどんなに強い超能力者でも優れた超能力者とは言えないね。なぜなら支配欲がないから。私は違う。常に向上心を持ってる。もっと上に行きたい。
This fucker.
世界中をこの手で。
オケー、上乗ったまま喋んじゃねえよ。
何者だ君。
それとだな、人と話すときはガスマスクを外しなさい。そいや。
Take off your mask, dude. Damn, Reigen.
すっぱ抜けた。つうかなんだこの力。
It's so funny.
あいつか。それしか考えられねえな。
Yeah, always mob, dude.
いい年していつまでも遊んでんじゃねえよ。
貴様に何がわかる。社会がなんだ。まともな社会しか見てこなかったやつが偉そうに説教するな。
I don't think he's only seen its good side.
孤独だった。家族団らん、母の味、そんなものとは無縁の少年時代だ。児童養護施設では壮絶ないじめを受け、世界を呪った。呪わなければ生きていけなかった。そして力に目覚めた。この力のおかげで生きてこられたんだ。なんだその目は。俺をそんな目で見るな。
わかるよ、お前の気持ち。
こいつ、俺と同じ。
俺も子供の頃、小4くらいだったかな。親にその日運動会だってこと伝えてなくて、俺だけ弁当がなかった。
そりゃお前が悪い。
孤独を感じた少年時代の話。
Felt lonely.
くだらん話と一緒にするな。主眼やがん死ねえ。かくなる上は呪いを込めた香水で眠らせる。
なんかよくわからんが、人に向けるな。募集する。まだやってんのかお前は。せっかくの超能力をつまらないことばっかりに使ってるな。
なんだと。
刃物を手にしたちびっ子と一緒で危なっかしいぜ。
言わせておけば。
その額の模様は何だ。
これは貴様には関係ない。
じゃあこの肩パッドみたいなやつは。
これは肩をガードするための。
つまりただの飾りで、特に意味はないんだろう。
Reigen's just fucking psychologically digging into them.
人は人だぞ。それ以上でもそれ以下でもないんだよ。お前らはそれに気づいてない。
Yeah.
特殊能力に依存しすぎて視野が狭くなってる。世界を見てないくせに世界征服？支配じゃ誰もついてこねえよ。 まずはその幼稚な肩パッドを脱いで
Dude, Reigen's such a beast.
大きくなりたきゃ現実に生きろ。スタートはそこからだ。
今さら庶民に戻れと。
いやなめんなよ。まだ分かってねえな。庶民だよてめえは。平民大衆の一部。俺は庶民だ。お前らより圧倒的に強い俺が庶民で。出た。お前らは何だって。
A commoner. Dude, he's fucking flipping their world upside down.
妄想から現実に引っ張ってきた奴らの夢を壊すことだ、すごい師匠だ
Dude, Reigen.
違う。断じて違う。
Damn, he's ugly as fuck.
あんな老人が女の子かもと思っていたが。
私は
Yeah, I thought he was a girl too.
人は人。それ以上でもそれ以下でもない。それは逆に乱暴だ。私たちは特別だ。他の人類よりも上位の生命体だよ。そう思わなきゃやっていけないんだろう。そっちの尺度で作られた共同体は私に適さない。いつまでも周りに甘えんなよじいさん。こっちが悲しくなってる。力を持って生まれた私が力を振りかざして何が悪い。世界を変えて何が悪い。私から見たらみんな猿と同じ。生きづらい。こんなに私は優れているのに。
His teeth are nasty.
くれないと私は世界に特別扱いされて叱るべきですよ。その世界がふちゃわちいの。
いや超能力持っててもモテないですよ。
そ
Yeah.
れが全てだ。
この場の全員しぶごとけせやが。
やべ、ガス欠っぽい。やべ、吸い寄せられる。
Oh my god, dude. Oh, he's creepy as hell.
往生際が悪い。
あいつは
Holy crap.
この地で引力の塊か。引力反対をイメージ。超能力で作ったもんならどうにでも対応できるぜ。ジェイさん、もうあんたは必要ない。それとお前、借りよぜ。ふぬけかよ。第7支部は解体する。
なんだお前、研修って話じゃ。
残念ながらいいのはいなかった。
Yeah.
内部にはな。じゃまたな。
I don't like that last line.
悪霊の気配が一つに。たった今孤独が完成したわ。死んでよ、究極悪霊マシュマロちゃん。
Marshmallow Chan.
なんだあれ。
エクボ。
ようやく出られた。少しは力を取り戻した俺様が手伝えば100人抜きだぜ。
もう終わったよ。
Yeah, you're a little late to the party.
悪霊かこれ。
なんでお前に可視化モードじゃない俺様が見えるんだ。
強いな。いいや、俺たちが弱かった。痛感したよ。奴らなら防ぐことができるかもしれない。爪の世界侵略を。
Man, that guy's voice actor sounds so familiar. I want to say he's someone from Attack on Titan, like the sword guy. Ugh, it's gonna drive me nuts, bro. Back to normalcy. Back to the masses. Aw, I'm so happy that they're like actually close again. No facade anymore.
本当に見てて。ほらこれ。いいじゃん。一緒に行こうよ。
つぼみちゃん。
Why were their heads like vegetables or something?
見すぎ見すぎ。
メサトさん。
慌てすぎ。女の子見つめるのもいいけど、今日こそ話聞かせてよ、モブ君。終わるまで待つわよ。
いや、その後はバイト
She's
が。
persistent,
も
man.
ういつになったら話聞かせてくれるのよ。
Damn journalists.
昨晩君のお兄さんが来たよ。
兄さんが。
お互いどこかおかしくなってた。これから鬼瓦君たちに謝りに行くよ。
僕も行きます。
Oh, it's him.
でも大丈夫ですか？
全校生徒の嫌われ者になりますよ。
くだらないことをしてしまった自分が悪いのさ。
Dude, he looks healthier.
今は兄さんが味方してくれる。だからちゃんとするよ。
やっぱりリコーダー仕込んだのお前らか。なめたまねしやがって。つが知ってたし、今さらどうでもいいけどよ。
どういうことですか？
俺が本当に犯人かどうかなんて関係ねえんだ。材料があればそれに乗じて俺を追い出す空気があった。周りから死ぬほど嫌われてたってことに気づいたぜ。あと自分の心の脆さ。
Dude, if only people were actually this self-aware.
お前の兄貴が心配してたぜ。切れた俺に制裁食らうんじゃねえかって。裏番の弟ってことで今回は目をつぶってやる。鬼瓦どうした？バテたのか？
The Body Improvement Club set him straight.
成長するぜ。あの時の白 T ポイズンのようにな。行くかい？おい！
Yeah, Mom, go.
君のお兄さんじゃないか。大丈夫なのかい？朦朧としてるようだけど。
はい、兄さんはああ見えて僕からすれば誰よりも強いんです。
でも倒れて
どうしたおっさん、まだ懲りずに俺らを集めて。
超能力を諦めてないんだな。
いや、今日は私の意思じゃない。
いや、はじめまして。君たちがここの研究対象ってやつか。
またか。
先日の対組織戦で一役買った花沢君だ。
どうかな、君らも僕と一緒に強くなってみないか。
Are we about to go through a training arc?
また何か動きを見せるだろう。
Yeah, I wonder how many divisions it has.
そして反撃のためにやってやろうじゃないか。
お前がここに何の用だ？
茂雄に頼まれてきただけだ。貧血を起こして除霊手伝いない。もう茂雄必要ないんじゃねえのか？目覚めたんだろ、超能力に。
バカ言え。ありゃ全部モブの力。あれをきっかけにお前が見えるように。
Okay. At least he gained something.
ただの詐欺師に。
攻撃の悪い例だな。よし、じゃあお前手伝え。
はあ？なぜ俺様がてめえのヘルプを？
そのためにお前をよこしたんだろう。欠勤連絡だけなら電話でいいし。
マジかよ。
お前モブの使い走りなんだろう。
上級悪友だった。
Oh, back to the dank food.
カリアス、ふぬけかよ。僕は格好悪いことしたのかな。何か間違えたんだろうか。
いい加減直しなさいってそのくせ。
茂雄も年頃なんだ。スプーンくらい。
兄さん貸して。
Beast. Yeah, for real. If I was their parents, I'd be freaking out.
まあいいか。
I like that. Not something you need to overthink.
もしもし。あ、落としてたんだよ。第7支部潰されたよ。外部のエスパーが攻めてきて幹部は全滅。
ショー、何を言っている？視察の経過報告を聞いているんだが。
あんたの自慢の組織全然世界一じゃないぞ。遊んでないで早く日本に来い、バカ親父。めんどくせえ視察させやがって言ってやったぜ。
ああ、近いうちにな。
Is this the head of Claw? I feel like we wouldn't be meeting him so soon, but maybe.
調味市にてツチノコの発見情報が相次いでいます。市は町おこしのためにツチノコに懸賞金をかけ捕獲協力を募っています。
もしもし、今大丈夫か？運動できて汚れてもいい格好で90分後に集合な。土の子を生け取る。テンション上がるだろ。
Dude, Mob's tracksuit.
こういうところに土の子はいるんだよ。
I have no idea what a Tsuchinoko is. I have no idea how to say it.
お前、ユーマにロマン感じないのか？ビッグフットやメッシ。
Oh, so it's like, okay, it's like Bigfoot.
隠したら賞金もらえるそうですね。
まあ、それもある。
師匠、
なんだ？
こんな山の深いところに。
モブ、確かに俺たちは山登りについては素人かもしれないが、お前には超能力があるだろう。あとは俺の対応力があれば。あんなところに！あれを見ろモブ！ やっぱりこの場所です
ツノコ。
ほら松茸だぜでけ
あ、やっぱりロマンとか言いながらもう興味ない。
Is that a mushroom? Oh fuck, dude.
いや師匠、これってもしかしてユーマなんじゃ。
バカ野郎そんな
Now he says that.
はい。
Bruh.
元は何だったんだろうなあいつ
もうそんなに経ったんですか。
まあいいや
He loves them. He just wanted to go foraging, man.
何言ってんだいるわけねえだろそんなもん
Oh, looks like a little tiny snake.
この後事務所で松茸焼くけど食ってくだろ
はい。
カボスでも買ってくか
はい。
Oh, that's it. All right, everyone. Episode 12 of Mob Psycho 100, season 1 in the wraps. Have to say, just initially, I want to say some thoughts on season 1 in general, kind of how I felt about these first 12 episodes of Mob Psycho. Honestly, I'm very impressed. Very impressed with how great those 12 episodes were. Like, plotline wise, it's not even like a ton of the world has developed, the plot has developed. Obviously, we have the Claw organization that's going to be the main antagonist, it seems, but there's been so many little subplot lines with different characters, right? Like a lot of the plot line was centered more around the characters themselves and just the plot line of, protagonist versus antagonist kind of story. And I think with a lot of good stories, it's a balance between those two, but I think most of the best stories often center the story around the characters themselves, right? They write around the characters versus just writing around the plot line as a whole. It doesn't need to always be that way, but I tend to really enjoy character-centered development and writing, and Mob Psycho is a great example of that. I mean, so much, especially the first half of the season, was centered around the characters more than the plot itself, and I just thought it was super impressive. Like, not a ton didn't need to happen for this first season to be so good, and that's a testament to how good all of the characters are written and how enjoyable they are. The different themes being written about through the characters' growth and different pain points they're having. It's just really, really well done, and I'm very impressed. And a lot of people have been saying that season 2 is even better. Like, season 2 is really, really good. So, I mean, I can't wait for season 2. I imagine season 2, the plotline is going to develop a lot more as well. But I mean, I'm just very impressed, and I've really enjoyed doing the reactions for Mob. It's been great. But yeah, let's talk about episode 12 a little bit, because another really good one connects really well to the end of episode 11. Obviously, these two are kind of, a little bit paired in terms of the plot line that's going on, but even just with Reigen a lot in this kind of discussion about what adults should be. Like, the adults should be the ones kind of taking on the pain or fighting, and children should kind of be kept away. We talked a little bit about that last time in the review section of episode 11, but this episode was a good continuation of that, because Reigen really kind of exposes the Scars, like why they are going for world power, kind of going for that. They have such high ambition, right? Reigen pretty much calls out all the Scars that they're no better than any other human just because they have psychic powers, just because they've been blessed or have this gift of psychic powers. At the end of the day, they're just humans, and humans are humans. Having special powers or even having disabilities doesn't make you any less or more human than somebody else. And I really like how Reigen described how if you really want to make it far in life, I guess, or do great things in life, like follow your ambition, you need to actually be centered in reality versus kind of having tunnel vision on a certain aspect of you or your life, right? You have to be grounded in reality to be able to connect and empathize with people and to change the world probably in the right way, versus what the Scars are doing, what the Claw organization is doing, is they kind of have a skewed perception of themselves, right? Of psychic powers. Like, hey, we are the special ones. We are the ones who will change the world because we're psychics. Anyone outside of that should be listening to us because we're the strong ones, we're the powerful ones, and they're less human than we are. We know more than them, etc. Right? It's really well done because Reigen kind of mirrors back to them like, hey, like you guys are really just doing that to kind of protect yourselves, right? To keep moving forward in life. You're doing that, you kind of have that skewed identity because you are insecure or you have pain from other parts of your life, most likely, right? Like for example, I think it's Sakurai, the one with the sword, you know, he talks about how the world was never good to him. You know, right when he was born, his parents abandoned him, he was bullied in his orphanage. And I really like that because he's obviously holding a lot of pain from that. And he said that he had to curse the world to survive, right? When bad things happen to somebody in life in general, it's, you know, it usually comes down to what's going to be the best for them to survive. You know, all the other things go out the door. It's all about survival at that point. And people do really bad things or, you know, kind of get down to their bare root of their nature and do some bad things a lot to just survive. And I think that's why it's important to not judge people for, you know, for the past things that they've done at times. I mean, you need to hold people accountable to it. For example, like these guys, you know, they're doing bad things and you need to pull them out of it. But in general, most people have a valid reason in their past that's caused them to do something bad, you know? And having some empathy and trying to understand them, kind of like Reigen does, right? I mean, he does it in a very silly way. Like he tells a story about when he was lonely and, you know, it's obviously kind of a little deadpan humor there, but I still like that though, because, you know, the way that you can help people the most is by helping them be seen, right? Helping them, you know, understanding them. And because a lot of times that's what it takes for them to like really let go of a lot of negative emotion or kind of get them out of that tunnel vision, right? Like this defense mechanism that they're using to kind of beef their self-esteem up by focusing so much on this gift of their psychic powers and how, you know, it's given them a leg up in the world, but in reality, it's really just a crutch for them to lean on since they, you know, deep down, they really are hurting. And I really like the line that Reigen says, like, you know, he points out kind of other parts of them leaning into their special powers to protect themselves from their insecurity and stuff. Like he points out the one guy's shoulder pads and like the dot on his head and all these things. Is like, do those things actually have any functional use? No, they're just, you know, to make you look a certain way, right? And I think was a very good line, and it's a good way for Reigen to point out kind of how they're acting out or projecting some of their insecurities through their powers. You know, people do that all the time too in real life where, you know, they'll try to dress a certain way to get attention or to show off a part of them that maybe they're proud of, whether that's, you know, maybe they're really into fitness and they like to look a certain way and they get validation from the way they look because they have good muscles or a nice body or whatever it might be, right? You know, people do that quite a bit. I just really enjoyed that part. And then, you know, I really loved the line where Reigen said, yeah, you guys are plotting world domination against the world when you haven't even seen the world, right? And I think he's kind of calling out that, yeah, maybe you guys have seen the bad parts of the world and this has made you try to, you know, made you have to survive by leaning into some of these negative things, but you guys haven't really seen the good side of the world. You haven't seen reality, which is mixed of both good and bad. And I don't know, I really enjoyed how Reigen kind of brought them back down to reality, you know, once again, kind of calling out what a real adult is versus these adults who are, you know, haven't really grown through their pain. They haven't taken on their pain. They've kind of hidden themselves from their pain by blowing up their powers even more, right? Leaning on them so much more to feel strong and safe. I just think it was such a really good way and an interesting way to bring them back down to reality, right? Like kind of shattering what their dream is to them or what they're focused on so much and kind of what they're avoiding looking at other factors in life. Because that's the mindset that a lot of people get stuck in is, you know, it's all around their mindset or their paradigm that they view the world in. And until they can get somebody to bring them back down to reality, you know, more objective reality or change their perspective, you know, they're always going to be stuck in what their current vision is. And, you know, Reigen was able to bring them back down to reality, but kind of shattering that psychic illusion that they have for themselves, this claw organization, these scars as individuals. Just really, really well done. And, you know, kind of ties to the last episode where, you know, Reigen was kind of calling them a little bit of they're not really adults. They haven't really grown up. And them living in reality is a way for them to actually grow up. To be real adults is to be grounded in reality, not to lean into complexes like this. Like, these guys have complexes, basically. They have a complex around their power, and that power is a projection of their insecurity in a lot of ways, it seems. And alongside this, another part of it that kind of relates to it, but it's just another really good moment, is how Reigen actually gets the powers that he has. I thought the beginning was really funny because I was so confused on how Reigen had survived the sword slash, and if the sword was actually plastic at that point because he breaks it in half. I'm like, are these guys, Scars, actually con artists and Reigen's just playing them for a fool? But it makes a little bit more sense. Reigen actually takes on Mob's psychic powers temporarily because of what he says to Mob. He says it's okay to run, and basically what he's saying in that moment is it's okay to ask for help, essentially, right? You can have a lot of responsibility because of your powers. Like, there's a line mentioning that those with powers have the responsibility to fight, kind of thing. And in general, we all have a lot of responsibility in life, but it's okay to ask for help. And a lot of times when you do ask for help, especially if it's an adult like Reigen in this case, to help you fight for you, you can see what that does to Mob. Mob has immense gratitude, and I love the way they convey how strong that emotion is. Going from the 100% emotional load that he had, and how he was probably about to unleash that, up until the moment where Reigen kind of, claps him on the face, is like, hey, it's okay to run away. It's okay to ask for help, kind of thing. And immediately all that emotion transfers to Reigen. Reigen's able to use it for a power. But I would just like the representation of how that turns into gratitude. That 100% grows to 1,000%, 10 times what all that negative emotion was. And I don't know about y'all, but the moments I have experienced, intense gratitude in life have been just some of the most alive I've ever felt. Gratitude is such a powerful emotion, and it really, once again, kind of grounds you in reality, right? I just love the way they conveyed that. One thing I forgot to mention around kind of the whole complex of the power and the rejection of society was, we see the leader of the 7th Division, when his mask comes off, he's actually this old man. And out of all the Scars, he seems to be the one that is most disillusioned from reality, right? He completely believes that people should view him as special. He looks so down on other human beings because that's really the only way that he can probably gain approval, right? Be popular, as he puts it. And I just love how Mob says, psychic powers won't make you popular ever. But it's funny because I think it makes perfect sense that this guy's an older guy, because you sometimes see that like the people with the most skewed perceptions are some of the oldest at times. Like, they really leaned into some kind of defense mechanism or complex their whole lives, and they're so set in their ways. And this guy's a really good representation of that. I mean, he's so stuck in that, that identity, that negative identity to protect his self-esteem. It's just, it's really sad. And I love how Reigen's like, dude, you can't be doing this. He's just calling him out on his bullshit. It's perfect. But it's interesting because obviously he kind of completely rejects what Reigen says, continues to try to live in this illusion, versus the other Scars who you can see it's really impacting. They kind of give up. And but the leader gets taken down by Sho like that. And Sho was really interesting because we see more of his powers here, and it seems like he has a really good grasp on how psychic powers work. Like, he's able to dissect how the gravity orbs work and everything, and he's able to kind of counteract it right away and easily mop the floor with the head of the 7th Division. And we basically find out that Sho isn't really a trainee from HQ. He was kind of there to do more of an inspection to see if he could take anyone useful back to HQ. And they all definitely failed that evaluation. The only one he seems interested in still actually is Ritsu, which I thought was pretty intriguing because we didn't really get more of what their conversation was when Ritsu and Sho met each other. I think that was in the last episode. But they obviously had some kind of interaction that impressed Sho or made him curious about Ritsu. We see a little bit more of Sho at the very end too, with him calling his dad, I guess. They have a very interesting relationship because Sho kind of calls his dad an idiot, and like I don't know, it definitely doesn't seem like a superior and a subordinate kind of relationship. I mean, his dad seems intimidating, but the relationship seemed a bit interesting. But I'm wondering if, you know, his dad is the head of the Claw organization as a whole, or maybe it's another division, or, you know, he's kind of in the upper echelon of that whole Claw organization. We'll have to see how it is, but I'd imagine that he's probably not the head of Claw, or if he is, he's more of a figurehead. But it is very, very interesting. I'm sure we'll get a lot more of that in season 2. Lastly, I did want to call out a moment that I really enjoyed, which was Shinji coming back in the picture and talking with Ritsu. You know, they're on the swings, and Shinji looks so much healthier. You know, he doesn't have those huge bags under his eyes. He just looks healthier, and they talk about how you know, he's pretty much acknowledged the bad things he's done, and he's gonna apologize to Tenga for framing him, essentially. All right? And I guess Mob had talked to Shinji about what happened, or about what happened with Ritsu to an extent. But I just loved Shinji's kind of ownership of what he did, right? Like Ritsu kind of like, you know, says he's a little worried for him, like if he goes and tells Tenga if he's gonna beat the shit out of him, everyone in the school is gonna be so mad at him, all these things. He's like, well, that's my fault, right? I did something bad, I need to take ownership of it. It's not their fault for being mad. They feel that way for a reason, and I'm the one who did it, so I need to take ownership of it. And then even more so when they actually do talk to Tenga has such a good response too. You know, he acknowledges that was a really crappy thing of them to do, but at the end of the day, he was like, it's really my problem as well, right? Like, it's like everyone's taking ownership over their part in it. Usually it's never just on one person. If you have confrontation or something bad, I mean, yeah, people wrong others for no reason sometimes, but there's oftentimes something about us that's part of the equation as well. And in this case for Tenga, he was like, wow, like, yeah, you know, it didn't really matter if I had done it or not. Everyone wanted it to be me because they hated me. And like, that was a reflection of what he was like in the society of the school, right? You know, people didn't really respect him, and you can see now as part of the Body Improvement Club, he's trying to improve himself. And I just love how self-aware both Shinji and Tenga were in this moment. And, you know, obviously a lot more mature than most kids are, even more than adults are. It's sometimes really hard to be aware of our part in you know, our own pain or our own shortcomings. But Mob has done a really good job of kind of breaking down the psychology in it all to an extent, the emotions that come along with it, the different complexes or perspectives or paradigms that we view the world in or view ourselves in, that kind of protect us in certain ways, but also make us hurt other people or hide from ourselves so we don't continue to grow. And there's definitely a big theme in Mob Psycho of trying to be honest with yourself and view yourself and be grounded in reality and try to just improve yourself from that, right? I kind of think the Body Improvement Club's a really good representation of that, and I love their place in this show and how big of an impact it's had on multiple characters. And just in 12 short episodes, we had so many characters who kind of went through some kind of plot line where they could have been the antagonists for a long time, like Teruki, like Tenga, like Ritsu, right? All of them, they all had a lot of darkness within them at a certain point, but their identities flipped a lot. Their identities flipped so much, and I love to see the growth in them. Really, really good character development in this season. All right, let's get into character ratings this episode. MVP, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Reigen again. I think just, you know, him bringing back down the claws back down to reality and kind of, you know, bringing them out of the illusion of their power and being more than what humans really are. I thought he did a great job of that, and I just think it's relatable in real life. I think people get lost in illusions and their perspective of the world a lot, instead of being able to kind of look objectively at themselves and the world and stay grounded. It's really easy to get a skewed perception, and I just love the whole little narrative on you know, what it means to be an adult, and you know, how he actually brings these kind of immature adults back down to reality. And I'm really curious if we're going to see more of those Scars who he did bring back down to reality, if they're going to kind of have a little bit of a redemption arc. I'd really enjoy that if they did, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in season 2. Best moment, that's tough. That's really tough. You know, I want to say, you know, kind of that moment with Reigen as well. I think as a whole, that was an awesome moment. But because we gave that to Reigen already, I'm going to give the best moment to when, it's a really small thing, but it's a callback to episode 1 where Mob, you know, bends the spoon again, but this time Ritsu uses his psychic powers to fix it for him, right? And this time it's authentic. In the first episode, he was, you know, kind of monitoring Mob's emotions because of his fear and whatnot and his insecurity. But now we see like they're actually joined together and authentic. And we also see that it helps Mob kind of get out of his headspace about thinking about what Sho said about him. I don't know, I just love kind of the full circle that happened here. I thought it was really, really well done. And then funniest moment, I think the funniest moment was when, you know, the body improvement club's all working out. They just talked to Tenga and Mob runs by and he's like, you know, barely surviving. And Shinji's like, it's like, man, your brother looks like he's not gonna make it. And Rishi's like, well, it may not look like it. Nissan's one of the strongest people I know. And then like it flashes them and he's passed out. He's like, your brother's passed out. So good, man. Mob is a very, very good grasp on humor. They do a really good job with it. I think every single episode I laughed multiple times. So really enjoyed that aspect of season 1 as well. Shows that can balance humor with, you know, really mature themes. It just is like the perfect blend because you get that comedic relief, and so it's not too dark, but then the mature and real themes come in and make the show deeper. Mob really strikes the balance between those two things really well. All right, y'all, I think that'll do it for episode 12 and season 1 of Mob Psycho 100. Really enjoyed this ride with y'all. We'll be starting to season 2 pretty shortly, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed season 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with me. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode and season 1 as a whole. If y'all enjoy this video and you want to follow on for more, you want to see season 2, like the video, subscribe if you want to. And yeah, I appreciate y'all being here to watch with me. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.